gets to record videos with me now. Except you can't even see him, but he's right here next to me. I got grass all over my bed just earlier because we were playing fetch, and so now there's grass all over my bed. So I laid out his little blanket for him to lay down on. So anyways, today I thought I would go ahead and sit down and finally record a long form video for my channel. Last year at the beginning of the year, I made a video, I don't even remember what it was called, talking about goals and stuff for 2023. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of follow up on that and then make another video for 2024. So this is my Notion. As you can see, I have a lot of stuff here. Some stuff is not really being used right now. Other stuff I use like almost every day. Some stuff I've taken a break from for Christmas, and now I'm trying to get back into using it. Especially for this year, I really want to be more goal focused and more health focused as well. And with that includes like mental health and kind of being organized. So I really want to get back into Notion and using the tools that I have here to really help with my growth. So we're going to go ahead and go into goals, which I'm scared because I haven't really looked at this entire tab in a very long time. Oh yeah, I put like this huge quote here for yearly goals to kind of like summarize like last year. I found this quote around the beginning of the year. And I wanted to have this here to kind of summarize like kind of like the mood for the year, the mood that I wanted to have for the year. I do still want to keep this because I really like this. And like the whole, I kind of put my own edits into the quote a little bit. I don't know what it was from. I just found it on Pinterest. So it's not quite exactly the original quote, but it is still something. So in terms of last year's goals, I can already tell this is not going to be good. I did not achieve either of these faith goals that I had. So I'm going to go ahead and edit that just to make it a little bit easier for myself, a little bit easier to achieve. A thing that I noticed last year was I was setting like to me at the time they seemed really small, but now looking back, I realized they were still really big. I just kind of had like way too big expectations. So I'm going to go ahead and change that and then keep this one. Hobby goals. I would say actually I did make art fun again for me. Now I'm still working on this. I think that's kind of like something that's going to be forever goal of mine. But one of the realizations that I had late last year was that one of the ways to make art fun for me was to stop caring about what other people think about it. I kind of fell into the mindset of I need to be creating like aesthetic art and cute art and like really cool art that is suitable for social media and stuff that other people will find interesting that will help me to grow my account. But I realized that wasn't really fulfilling for me. I wasn't really having fun with that. I wasn't really drawing the things that I really wanted to draw. Some of the things that I've drawn, they're kind of like weird or creepy in a way, but I'm starting to realize that that's kind of what I enjoy making. Stuff that's just kind of like, you know, a little bit just kind of unsettling in a way. And I just think that that's really fun because there are like aesthetics like that that do already exist that I find that I really, really enjoy. And I was like, I'm an artist. I can literally make stuff like this myself. So like, why don't I?
Editing Topes here. I wanted to kind of hop in really quick and add a few extra thoughts onto this because I'm not sure that I really said it the way that it needs to be said. I think I was pretty confident in my answer at the time, but at the time of recording this, that was January 8th, I believe, and now it is April, the middle of April. So I've had a lot of time to just kind of think about this, and really what that means to me and what I've discovered that it means to me is actually just making the art that I want to make. making the art that brings me joy and not worrying, like I said, not worrying about what other people think, but especially not worrying about like making it to please other people, not making it to just please like social media and making it to get likes or whatever or views. And also not worrying about my art style, because that was another thing that I struggled with a lot at the beginning of the year. I think I was getting really frustrated that my art style was not consistent, but I have since then just kind of decided to not care anymore, just to draw what I want to draw in whatever style that I see fit. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just like, make art for you, make art fun for you by drawing what you want to draw. I mean, right now for me, that means designing cute little stickers. I love designing stickers. Like, yes, that is a shop item and that is something that I sell, so it can be seen as drawing for other people. But ultimately, I just like to make stickers. Like, it's just so much fun. I love putting my stickers on things and seeing where other people put the stickers that I make on too. So ultimately, people love to see other people passionate about what they are doing. So yeah, that is all.
So I feel like I did make art fun again for me, which is really cool. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that because I feel like I did that for me. I feel I'm still, of course, like working with it, but yeah, I did not knit 2 sweaters last year. That was also a pretty big goal. I feel like I'm not really into, not that I'm not into knitting, I do really want to knit more sweaters this year, but it takes up a lot of time, and I've been really trying to focus on my shop, and I've not had a lot of time for like personal hobbies. Knitting is definitely one of the hobbies. You can see Goopy stale there. Knitting is definitely one of those hobbies that I put on the back burner for a bit, because I do still have like other hobbies, but they just don't take nearly as long. Like for a sweater, it'll take like months to finish knitting a sweater, whereas like I picked up whittling last year, and it takes, maybe a couple of days to finish a whittled project. Or, a few hours depending on how big it is. So I feel like knitting just kind of wasn't really something I was working towards. So I feel like I'm not, I do want to, because my last year for my birthday, my sister bought me some really nice yarn for a jacket that I was going to knit. And so that was going to be one of the 2 sweaters that I wanted. It's not really a sweater, it's a jacket, but it was going to be one of the 2 that I wanted to knit last year. So I think I'm gonna put that in here. What is it called? Knit Eastwind jacket. In terms of other hobbies, I mean, I don't really know. Maybe embroider / cross stitch. Let's just say more, because I think at the beginning of last year I was doing it a lot, but then I kind of stopped doing it. I can't remember why, but I really did enjoy it, and there's some things that I've been wanting to make, so I think I'm gonna just put that on here. Not really embroidering, mostly cross stitching, but there is like one thing like hanging up on my wall that I want to embroider onto. So in terms of financial goals, now this is something that I was thinking about before I even opened this, that I know I did not. So this one is done. I already checked that off. I got like a really nice typewriter at the beginning of last year. Probably actually like a couple days after I finished recording the last video. But I don't think I'm gonna worry about that. And not having to worry about half of my monthly payment every month. That was something that was very ambitious of me, that I do still want to be able to achieve someday. Like, obviously someday I want to be able to have like my entire monthly payment covered, but I think that trying to get half of it covered by the end of the year was maybe a little bit too much, because that's like something that I wanted to have like regular income based off of like memberships and shop sales and things like that, and that just like realistically was not going to happen. So I think I'm going to change it to, instead of half, I want to try and get a quarter done, because I didn't really have memberships launched until the end of the year, and I wasn't really focusing on my shop that much until the end of the year. And I I'm now in a much better financial place than I was last year, but I would like to try and grow my... Oh, what do you see, buddy? Good boy. Let me get you some chicken. Good boy. He likes to look out the window and bark at the people that walk. There's a sidewalk right behind our backyard. He likes to bark at them. Some guy just drove past on a lawnmower, and he didn't even bark at all. So I'm very proud of him. We've been working on it. Anyways, so I think not having to worry about a quarter, because I think right now I'm at like, I did get, for this year, my monthly payments, and I think either the phone, the insurance, or both have increased this year. I haven't checked if my car payment has increased, but I have had some increases done on my monthly payments. So it's not like much, but it's still like a little bit more than I need to make every month. So I think I'm going to try and just get like a quarter of that covered with memberships and shop sales. If I can do that, that would be great. And I think that would probably be like, oh, maybe that's too much, $100 a month-ish. Maybe more, a little bit more, probably a little bit more. I think I'm nearing like, yeah, it would probably be a little bit more than $100 a month that I would need to be making by the end of the year. Which sounds like a lot. I don't actually know if I would be able to do that. We'll put a quarter. We'll put a quarter, and if I don't make that this year, I'll leave it for next year, and 2025 for sure, I'll have at least a quarter of my monthly payment covered every month, like regularly. And in terms of online goals, I actually did achieve 2 of my online goals. So I did, let me see where I'm at right now, actually. Let me get my phone. I had, hi buddy. On YouTube, I wanted to have 200 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'm actually almost at 300 people subscribed to me. I'm at 274 people, which is really, really crazy. I did not think that I was gonna like just blow my goal out of the water like that. Like, it's not much at all, but it still just makes me really happy that I was able to get that far. And then on Instagram, I had a goal of 300 people following me, and I have 364. So for both of those 2 goals, I actually was able to surpass them, which is great because I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to make either of them. And I think that makes up for the lack of completed goals in every other section. And then I know on Ko-fi, I did not, so I set a goal for 100 people following me on Ko-fi, and I know I'm not quite there yet, probably not even halfway. Yeah, I'm at 46 right now. So the thing about Ko-fi though is that like even if I post consistently, it's not like social media. Like people can't just find me randomly. I have to be like directing people to Ko-fi from my social media, which I have been doing. I think we're gonna go ahead, and since I know I'm going to be at 300 and 400 on YouTube and Instagram, like probably by the middle of the year, depending on my posting and uploading schedule, we're gonna go ahead and let's see. I don't know what I'm still gonna keep 100 for Ko-fi since I'm not even halfway there yet. But I think for YouTube, I'm gonna be at 300 soonish. Let's say, I want to say 400, but we might say 400. Should we try it? Let's try it. Let's try for 400. And then on Instagram, we'll try for 500. Oh my gosh. Those, like, that is just crazy to think that many people would even want to subscribe and follow to me anywhere. Like, that's a lot of people. What do you see, Gooby? What do you see? Wow, that's crazy to think about. Yeah, no, I don't know if I'll be able to do any of these. I'm pretty confident in Ko-fi. I feel like I should be able to, well, actually maybe not with the growth that I had last year. But if I can post consistently and gain a lot of people on YouTube or Instagram, then get more traction to Ko-fi, I'm hoping I'll be able to do that. So, yeah. that is my goals for the year. Really hoping to make 2024 my year. I feel like 2023 was kind of not the best year for a lot of people for a lot of reasons, but I have a really good feeling about 2024. Gooey, do you want to say hi to the camera? Want to say hi to the camera before we say goodbye? Want to say hello? He's like, let me go. Let me look out the window. He's just a sweet guy. Anyways, so that is all from me and Goob. Say goodbye, Goob. Say goodbye.